Chosen one, before you continue, I want you to hear this message with an open heart, because someone listening today has been carrying a pain they never told anyone about, the pain of being replaced, the pain of watching someone else take the position you once held, the pain of seeing people move on as if your presence never mattered, the pain of feeling forgotten. And today, God says, people may replace your position, but they can never replace the purpose I created you for. Chosen one. There was a season when you gave everything you had. You stayed loyal when others walked away. You remained faithful when no one noticed. You worked hard. You prayed. You sacrificed. You loved people sincerely. Yet one day, you watched someone else take your place. Perhaps it happened at work, perhaps in a friendship, perhaps in a relationship, perhaps even within your own family. Someone else was chosen. Someone else received the opportunity. Someone else received the recognition. And quietly, your heart broke. You smiled on the outside, but inside you kept asking, Lord, was I not enough? Chosen one, God heard that question, and today He answers, you were never rejected because you lacked value. I was simply leading you toward the place where your true purpose would be revealed. People often mistake replacement for rejection, but heaven calls it redirection. Chosen one. The enemy wanted you to believe that because someone else stepped into your place, your assignment had ended. He whispered, you're no longer needed. You've been forgotten. Someone better has taken over. But every one of those whispers was a lie, because God says, no one can replace the calling I wrote specifically for your life. Someone may wear your title, someone may sit in your chair, someone may receive your old opportunity, but no one can live the purpose that carries your name. Chosen one. Remember Moses. Before Joshua led Israel into the Promised Land, many people only saw Moses' unfinished journey, but God's plan was never failing, it was unfolding. Every generation had its assignment, every servant had a purpose. God never compared them, neither should you. Chosen one. Comparison steals peace because it makes you focus on someone else's path instead of God's direction for your own life. The moment you begin comparing, you stop appreciating the unique purpose God placed inside you. Today, God says, stop looking at who replaced you and start looking at where I am leading you. Because where I'm taking you, you won't need to compete. You won't need to prove yourself. You won't need to fight for recognition. The favor I have prepared for you will find you. Chosen one. Sometimes, God allows people to walk away because they were connected to one chapter, not your entire story. Sometimes He allows doors to close because your next season requires different people, different opportunities, different responsibilities, different blessings. And if the old chapter had remained, you would never have reached the new one. Chosen one. The pain of being replaced often becomes the beginning of discovering your true identity, because when everything familiar disappears, you finally learn to depend completely on God. Hearts, 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 hearts. And that dependence will carry you further than human approval ever could. Chosen one. God says, do not cry over the place I have already called you out of. Very soon, you'll understand why certain people had to leave, why certain opportunities disappeared, why certain chapters ended, because they were preparing you for a purpose far greater than anything you left behind. The people who thought they replaced you never realized God was already preparing something they could never take, your purpose, your calling, your destiny, and that can never be replaced. Chosen one. If you're still here, then perhaps your heart is beginning to understand something that your pain couldn't explain, because today, God says, what looked like replacement was actually my way of repositioning you. There are moments in life when everything familiar suddenly disappears. The phone stops ringing, the invitations stop coming, the people who once needed you act as though you've never existed. The place where you invested your time no longer has room for you, and slowly, a dangerous question begins to grow inside your heart. Did I ever really matter? Chosen one. The answer from heaven is immediate. Yes, you mattered then, and you still matter now. Your value has never depended on who appreciates you. It has always been rooted in the one who created you. People change, opinions change, circumstances change, but God's purpose never changes. Chosen one, remember Joseph. After interpreting dreams, he expected someone to remember him. Instead, he was forgotten in prison. Days became months, months became years. Every morning probably looked exactly the same. Every sunset reminded him that nothing had changed, yet while Joseph believed he had been forgotten, heaven was arranging the exact moment that would introduce him to Pharaoh. If Joseph had left prison one day earlier, he would have missed God's perfect timing. Chosen one. The delay wasn't denial, the silence wasn't abandonment, it was preparation. God says, "When I remove you from one place, it is because I am preparing another place where your gifts will have greater impact." Perhaps you've been grieving over what you lost, the relationship, the job, the ministry, the friendship, the opportunity. But today, God asks you a question. Why are you mourning a season that I have already completed? Sometimes, we keep looking through the rearview mirror, while God is asking us to look ahead. We keep trying to reopen chapters that heaven has already closed, not because they were bad, but because they were finished. Chosen one, the enemy wants you to confuse your location with your purpose. He wants you to believe that because you lost one position, you've lost your calling, but that's impossible, because purpose is never tied to one building, one company, one relationship, or one title. Purpose travels with you. Wherever God leads, your calling follows. Chosen one. Think about Esther. She was an orphan. She had no royal background, no influence, no position. Yet when God's appointed time arrived, she stood inside a palace, not because people expected it, but because heaven had planned it. God didn't need the world's permission to fulfill his purpose, and he doesn't need it for you either. Chosen one. God says, "Stop chasing places where you are merely tolerated. I am leading you toward places where you are truly assigned." There is a difference. Some environments only use your gifts. Others nurture your purpose. Some people only value what you can do. God values who you are. Chosen one. You may feel like someone else has taken your seat, but don't forget, God owns the entire table. If one chair is removed, he can prepare another that is greater than the first. No person has the authority to cancel what God has already written about your future. No replacement can erase your destiny. No rejection can remove your assignment. No betrayal can stop your purpose. Chosen one. Very soon, you'll understand why you had to leave certain places, because the place where God is taking you requires the person you've become through every disappointment. The pain made you wiser, the waiting made you stronger, the rejection made you depend on God instead of human approval, and now, you're becoming ready for the season you've been praying about for years. God says, "Do not return to what I have already called you out of. Keep walking forward. Your greatest assignment is still ahead." The chapter that hurt you is ending. A greater chapter is about to begin. And when heaven opens the next door, you'll realize no one replaced you. God simply relocated you to the place where your true purpose could finally shine. Chosen one. If you've stayed until this final part, then perhaps this message has been preparing your heart for one life-changing truth. Today, God says, "Never measure your worth by the place you lost. Measure it by the purpose I have placed within you." For too long, you've been looking back, thinking about the people who walked away, the position you lost, the opportunity that slipped through your hands, the relationship that ended, the dream that seemed to disappear. Sometimes you replay those memories over and over, wondering what you could have done differently, wondering if you had been smarter, stronger, or more talented. Maybe things would have turned out differently. But today, God lovingly interrupts those thoughts. He says, "Stop blaming yourself for doors that I allowed to close. Chosen one. Not every loss is a punishment. Some losses are divine protection. Some endings are heaven's way of making room for something greater. If certain people had stayed, you would have remained comfortable. If certain opportunities had continued, you would never have discovered the greater assignment waiting ahead. Sometimes, God removes you from places that have become too small for the future He has prepared. Chosen one. Remember David. Before becoming king, he served faithfully in Saul's palace. He played the harp. He fought Goliath. He protected the kingdom. Yet despite all his loyalty, Saul tried to replace him with fear, jealousy, and hatred. David was forced to leave. From a human perspective, it looked like he had lost everything: his position, his security, his home. But from heaven's perspective, God was simply moving David toward the throne that had always been prepared for him. Chosen one, the palace David lost, could never compare to the kingdom God was preparing. The same is true for you. The opportunity you lost cannot compare with what God is preparing. The relationship that ended cannot compare with the peace God is bringing. The place that rejected you cannot compare with the place where God will establish you. Chosen one. God says, the people who replaced you only inherited your old season. They can never inherit your future. Think about that. Someone may now have your old position, your old responsibilities, your old title, your old routine, but they cannot carry your anointing. They cannot fulfill your calling. They cannot walk the path God designed exclusively for you. Because purpose cannot be transferred by people. It is given by God. Chosen one. The enemy wanted rejection to make you bitter. He wanted disappointment to make you lose your faith. He wanted replacement to make you question your identity. But instead, God has been using every painful chapter to make you stronger, more compassionate, more patient, more humble, more dependent on Him. You have grown in ways that success alone could never have taught you. Chosen one. Very soon, God is going to place you in an environment where your gifts are recognized, where your heart is valued, where your faith is strengthened, where your purpose is celebrated instead of tolerated. And when that season begins, you won't have to force anything. The right people will recognize what God has placed inside you. The right opportunities will arrive. The right doors will open, because divine favor never needs human permission. Chosen one. There will come a day when someone asks, "How did you recover after losing everything?" You'll smile, not because the journey was easy, but because you'll remember every moment when God carried you, the nights you cried in silence, the mornings you chose faith over fear, the countless prayers that seemed unanswered. And then you'll realize God was answering them all along, just not in the way you expected. Chosen one. As this message comes to an end, carry this promise deep within your spirit. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not replaceable. You are chosen, called, appointed, created with a purpose that existed before anyone ever knew your name. No rejection can erase it. No betrayal can destroy it. No replacement can steal it. No delay can cancel it, because your destiny was written by the hands of God Himself. So stop mourning yesterday. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop chasing places where you no longer belong. Lift your eyes. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Keep walking forward, because the God who allowed one chapter to end is already writing another chapter that will reveal His glory in ways you never imagined. And when that day comes, you won't say, "I lost everything." You'll say, "God removed me from what was temporary so He could lead me into what was eternal." Chosen one. People may have replaced your position, but they will never replace the purpose God created you to fulfill. Your greatest season isn't behind you, it is waiting just ahead. Stay faithful because God's perfect plan for your life is unfolding one step at a time. The rejection was not your ending, it was God's redirection toward your destiny.